Well, that sucked. This whole thing sucks right now. The Braves have officially lost 6 of their last 7 after sweeping the Pirates, and that was the last time I talked to you about the Braves. So, it's been a week, kidney stones, and the Braves have lost Ronald Acuna Jr. for the foreseeable future. They've lost Spencer Strider until at least, early to mid August. Michael Harris, I guess, aggravated his lower back, not been in the lineup now for the last 2 days, and the Braves are on their first true skid of the season. I understand why fans expected this. The Braves were really, really good in 2024 before the wheels just fell off because of injury, and I think there was a lot of underperformance to go with that as well in 2024. 2025, much the same thing, except the wheels fell off immediately. You can't start 0-7. But there is some good news. Drake Baldwin's back. That's nice, at least. And you're 20 games up. You're 20 games above 500. I know it's not what anybody wants to hear, but it allows you to have a stretch like this and not absolutely tank your chances of making the playoffs. The Dodgers went through a similar stretch to this earlier in the season. It's not uncommon for a baseball team to just go into a rut. However, this is a Braves team that, like I mentioned before, did have some definite holes. There were guys that were playing way above their ceiling, but you thought that that was okay and would kind of balance out once a guy like, Austin Riley got it going, or Ronald Acuna Jr. got back to his MVP form. And Acuna was really, really good for about 4 days. And then outside of that, he was, pedestrian and got hurt again. So Riley had a good night tonight. So there's that, at least. Hitting the ball hard, hitting the ball gap to gap. Riley has a really good approach when there are runners on. So maybe whoever is working with him day in, day out, you got to pretend that there's always a runner on. We don't need power from you, but if you can just get on base, we can figure the rest out. So hit doubles. We don't need home runs. Because that's kind of what it feels like with Austin Riley. He's pushing himself really, really hard. He's pressing. He's missing fastballs down the middle. He was late on, I think, 92, just middle today in game one. Just terrible, terrible time for Austin Riley. Really, this whole Braves lineup has been going through it. I mean, it kind of sums it up. Matt Olson got an inning in right field tonight. That's how bad the Braves' injury luck has been. That's just the way this past 10-day stretch for Atlanta has gone. So, any momentum you had yesterday with Drake Baldwin, he hit the home run, made it, tied it at 1, and then immediately went up 2-1 in the rain. You had to send Grant Holmes back out there for the top half of the first. Then you don't get a bottom half of the first. Come in, and the Giants pitching absolutely dominant, shuts you down for the rest of game 2. I don't even remember how many hits the Braves had for the rest of the first game of today. And then J.R. Ritchie did not have it. Gave up just, I think, 3 home runs to the Giants hitters. Not a good day for J.R. Ritchie. I had pretty high expectations for him considering how he looked last time out when he had to come in of relief for Spencer Strider, but not a good outing for Ian Ritchie. On the plus side, he gave you 5 innings. So you were able to get through this second game without using anyone but Carlos Carrasco, who, in hindsight, you would have tied the game if you had been able to keep it at 5 there. But I absolutely understand not using an arm considering you were coming off a double header today. So the Braves are in a tough spot. And this is the first real stretch of Walt Weiss's Braves managerial career, at least, where the Braves are in a tough spot. He had a little bit of a skid in Arizona and Anaheim, to start the year. The fight happened and the Braves went on a winning streak. So, but this is truly it. The Phillies are rapidly gaining on you. They're playing really good baseball at the moment, and they're on an easy stretch of games. They did not win tonight, but they still gain a full game in the standings because the Rays lost two. So it's a really, really rough time right now. And I don't think that there's an easy fix besides just saying the Braves have to stay healthy. Like, I don't know what's going on if this team just doesn't stretch enough. I get that injuries are a thing when you play baseball hard, but it's kind of ridiculous all the soft tissue injuries that happen to this team. Anyways, I'm not a doctor. And guys have to start living up to the back of their baseball cards. And if you're Alex Anthopoulos, I don't know how many teams right now are willing to sell because, I mean, the American League is so wide open. This Giants team practically is the only one truly out of reach. Just the Giants and the Rockies, both truly out of reach in the National League. So, I mean, if you want to make a trade, I guess, with the Rockies or the Giants for a pitcher, or you go right now and go sign a bat, I guess that's at least doable. The Braves are, according to every source, aggressively pursuing starting pitching and bats at the deadline. So we'll see. But the Braves can't play like this for another month and a half if they expect to be competitive. It's just as simple as that. I'm normally a very positive person on my outlook of the Braves. I told you at the beginning of the season that I was pretty cautiously optimistic, but I thought that this team was much better than people gave them credit for. And for the first 70 or so games, I was correct on that. It's just now things are starting to fall apart a little bit. So this team absolutely desperately needs Austin Riley to get it together, and they need Michael Harris to stay healthy. Because without Acuna's bat, you're trotting out 3, maybe 4 automatic outs. 2 automatic outs without Riley. If Riley is not doing well, he was good tonight. Once again, I'll say it. But it is a very, very tough situation because the strategy to defeat Atlanta is out. Just throw lefties. They have been terrible against lefties this entire year because there's only 3 or 4 people who can hit them, and you can just kind of spam lefties against this team. And right now, the Braves just don't have anyone who can hit lefties consistently in the bottom of their order. So the guys you brought in to hit left-handed pitching are not hitting left-handed pitching. So I don't know what string you pull, but this kind of feels, I mean, if you remember how some of the 2021 went, it felt like Ronald Acuna Jr. was dragging this team, screaming and clawing to relevance. And he got hurt. He went down. But there were a lot of big moments from some people that you don't remember in 2021. The biggest one, obviously, Pablo Sanchez. I mean, the Panda. He was critical, but then he went cold down the stretch, and you were able to trade him for next to nothing to go get Eddie Rosario. That was magic, and I don't expect that anyone is going to want to take Tom Smith for the same deal to go and give up someone of Eddie Rosario's caliber in 2021, who then gets hot and channels the spirit of Hank Aaron for, an entire 6-game series. So I don't think there's going to be easy solutions like there were in 2021 where everything just comes together and you make all these trades and the team really comes together to be more than a sum of its parts by quite a bit. So the Braves need pitching right away. I mean, I think Sale taking him off of extra rest every single time through would do him some good. He doesn't look as sharp every time that he comes out recently. He still looks good. He's still Chris Sale, but probably moving him every 5 days would be better for him. And Martin Perez, you have to stick with him in the rotation. He's your second best pitcher at this point. Bryce Elder, I mean, to be determined. Grant Holmes, I don't know, maybe you give Reynaldo Lopez another shot at starting at some point in this. J.R. Ritchie is not ready for the big league level. I think that was determined tonight. Just too many walks and the long ball. So not ready at that point. I guess you could take a chance on Owen Murphy coming up and being ready there. Or if you really like what you see out of, I'm trying to think of his name of who the Stripers have called up recently. Stripers roster. Because there is a guy that was called up from Columbus, Drew Hackenberg. He was having a very good season for Columbus. I would not be surprised if he has a good time out in Gwinnett if you just let him go up and figure it out. He has only made one start, or he's only not even made a start. He made one game. He threw, however, for 5 1/3. So basically a start. And went out there and only gave up 2 earned runs on 6 hits and, importantly, 1 walk. If he has another good outing for the Gwinnett Stripers, I think you just call him up and see what happens. The worst that happens is he comes up, gets blown up, and you send him back down. But he's not worse than what you're sitting out there every 5 days now. So until Strider's back, you absolutely need some pitching help, and whether that comes from internally or a trade early before the deadline. But the Braves are in trouble in terms of their pitching rotation. The bullpen has come down to earth a little bit, but still incredibly good. Still the best in baseball, despite this rough patch that the Braves are going through. So I think the Braves will eventually turn this around, but there are no easy fixes besides just playing better and executing. And I think you have to go out and get at least 1 starter, maybe 2, at the deadline. Probably before. Maybe get a patch player from now until August, and then you go and try to get, I don't know how realistic a Tariq Skubal is. I think a Casey Mize, though, on the Tigers, more realistic for the Braves. Logan Webb will be for sale, I believe, at the deadline for the Giants. Maybe some form of Logan Webb with... I don't think the Braves would be very interested in Rafael Devers, because that would require him have to play DH. Unless Austin Riley would be included in that deal, if you've just completely given up on Austin Riley. But that would be a bad contract for a bad contract. So kind of is what it is at that point. So we'll see what Alex Anthopoulos does, but the Braves will try to salvage the series with the Giants. I'll be in attendance tomorrow. It's Toy Story night at Truist Park, and hopefully the rain holds off, because the Braves absolutely need to get... they got to get their stuff together, and that's really the only solution that I can think of. Thanks for watching. Wish there was better news to share, but there's not. Until then, though, keep the faith. I'll see you next time. Peace out, and keep chopping.